Hello students, so I am back again with class 11th, first chapter from Hornbill, The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh. This is autobiographical sketch and we have already done first part of this chapter. Now we come to the second part, page number 4. In the previous video we had done first two passages, two paragraphs where we had read about the physical appearance of grandmother. Now we come to the page number 4, first para. Now from here we can say one important question, three phases of Khushwant Singh's stay with his grandmother. So we will be reading about these three different phases. So what are these three different phases? First phase is his stay with grandmother in the village. Second stage is his stay with grandmother in city house. And third stage is his stay with grandmother in the house but in separate room. Means when he was in college, he was given a room of his own. So this is the third stage of his stay with grandmother. So gradually certain changes would come. Okay, when we would be reading, we will see this thing when we would be reading about his stay, okay, in these three different phases. So let's start with the first phase, his stay with grandmother in the village. My grandmother and I were good friends. My parents left me with her when they went to live in the city and we were constantly together. She used to wake me up in the morning and get me ready for school. She said her morning prayers in a monotonous sing-song while she bathed and dressed me in the hope that I would listen and get to know it by heart. Now, first phase is when actually Khushwant Singh's mother, maybe his father, got a job in city or maybe he was posted in city, but they did not take Khushwant Singh and the grandmother because they thought that first of all they should settle down in city, get good house, then only they had planned to call these two. So now when the parents were gone, Khushwant Singh was left alone with grandmother. Now it means every work was being done by grandmother and that's why they became very close to each other. He was very small. Grandmother would wake him up in the morning, get him ready for the school, and while getting him ready for the school, one thing Khushwant Singh remembered afterwards, that she would be singing some holy song or some prayers, though it is always monotonous. Now what is monotonous? Means every day same song, same holy prayer. Okay, she would be singing and she would be singing loudly because she thought that maybe this way only grandchild would learn these holy scriptures or maybe this song by heart. Okay, so she said her morning prayers in a monotonous sing-song while she bathed and dressed me in the hope that I would listen and get to know it by heart. I listened because I loved her voice but never bothered to learn it. He said, I never said that I don't want to listen because I loved my grandmother's voice. But it was also there that I never bothered to learn it by heart. Then she would fetch my wooden slate, which she had already washed and plastered with yellow chalk, a tiny earthen ink pot, and a red pen, tie them all in a bundle and hand it to me. Actually, in those days, it was not like modern day smart bags and maybe different company bags and Reebok bag or something. Sometime, in competition only these days children bring different bags, very costly bags, but in those days it was not like that. So everything she would tie them in a bundle and she would give it to him while going to school. After a breakfast of thick stale chapatis with a little butter and sugar spread on it, we went to school. So they would take very simple breakfast, sometime even stale chapatis. So especially when it is stale chapati, some butter would be spread on it with sugar and all, and they would eat this and they would both go to school. Means grandmother would be accompanying the child to the village school. She carried several stale chapatis with her for the village dogs. My grandmother always went to school with me because the school was attached to the temple. Again, important question Okay, 2 marks, short question you may get, that why she would be going to the school with the child. Why? Because the school was actually a part of a temple. It was attached to a temple. The priest taught us the alphabet and the morning prayer. So it was not a very formal school. It's not that some teacher was there. So priest of the temple was the teacher for the village children. So he would be teaching the basic things. While the children sat in the rows on either side of the veranda singing the alphabet or the prayers in a chorus, my grandmother sat inside reading the scriptures. So on one hand, these children would be sitting in the veranda and the priest would be teaching them, and the grandmother would be sitting inside the room where she would be praying, okay, or reading the scriptures. When we both had finished, we would walk back together. This time, now again important question, what they used to do with these chapatis which they used to carry in the morning for village dogs? Actually, now this time the village dogs would meet us at the temple door. Now when they would come back home, so now at the temple door the village dogs would be waiting for them, because they would know that now grandmother would be giving them chapatis or food. They followed us to our home, growling and fighting with each other for the chapatis we threw to them. Okay, so they would be feeding village dogs now with chapatis. So important question, or we can say one point you are to remember, that grandmother was a very generous lady. If you get this question, that do you think that grandmother was a generous lady? Yes, she was a generous lady. Okay, she was a large-hearted lady. She took the responsibility of the grandchild all alone in the village, and secondly, she used to feed the village dogs with the chapatis. So we can say she was a very generous lady. This is first phase. Okay, his stay in the village. Now second phase. Okay, when my parents were comfortably settled in the city, means they got the house and now they were comfortable in the house, they sent for us, means they called both the grandchild and the grandmother. Okay, they called them. That was a turning point in our friendship. Actually, they had become very close friends, and now he says this shifting to city was a turning point. Underline this. This is already in bold. This is important question. You may get this question. What is the turning point in their friendship? Okay, separate question. Okay, 3 phases is another question. So this can be separate question. What can be called a turning phase in their friendship? This is the turning phase when they shifted to city. Now, why it was a turning point? Although we shared the same room, my grandmother no longer came to school with me. This is the first point of turning point. Okay, so this is the first point you have to write, that how can we say this was a turning point? Because now grandmother was no more accompanying the child to the school. Why? Because now he was going in a very formal school. Now in the city, the school was no more attached to any temple or gurdwara. Okay, so it was a formal schooling now. Okay, so that's why now grandmother was not accompanying the child to the school. I used to go to an English school in a motor bus, because this was a formal schooling now. It was English medium school and he was going in a motor bus. There were no dogs in the street, and she took to feeding sparrows in the courtyard of her city house. Now there were no dogs in the street like that. So now, because she was a generous lady by heart, that's why now she started feeding the sparrows. Okay, now she started feeding the sparrows in the city house. So this was a turning point, that now she was no more going. This is the first point. There are more points. Okay, so first point is that she was no more going to the school, accompanying the child to the school. As the years rolled by, we saw less of each other. Why? Because now the child was going to a formal school, he was getting homework, so he was getting less time to spend with grandmother, all these things. So we saw less of each other. For some time, she continued to wake me up and get me ready for school. Initially, she had the same duty. She would be getting the child ready for the school, and then when I came back, she would ask me what the teacher had taught me. I would tell her English words and little things of Western science and learning, the law of gravity, Archimedes' principle, the world being round, etc. So this was her habit, because she was very particular. We can say this point you get from here, that the grandmother, she might not be that educated, but she was very particular for the education of the grandchild. And that's why when the child would come back home from school, she would be asking what he had learnt in school, and the child also would be telling all these new things which he would be learning. Okay, though the grandmother would not understand many of the things. This made her unhappy. Okay, so whenever the child would be telling this thing I have learned today, that thing I have learned today, the grandmother, it's not that she would be very happy, rather she would be sometimes very unhappy. Okay, now why unhappy? She could not help me with my lessons. This was the maybe first reason, because now it was English medium school, English subjects, English language, and she was no more able to help the child in studies. She did not believe in the things they taught at the English school and was distressed that there was no teaching about God and the scriptures. Actually, in the village school, it was part of the temple only, and the priest was teaching, naturally, priest was teaching something about the religion also. But here it was formal schooling, and the school was not teaching any religion. Okay, they were not talking about God and scriptures. This sometimes made her unhappy. One day I announced that we were being given music lessons. She was very disturbed. Okay, one day when he told that now onwards we will be getting one more subject, okay, music subject, okay, this made the grandmother very, very unhappy. She was rather very disturbed. Why? To her, this is separate question. Okay, why was grandmother disturbed when she got to know that now there will be a subject called music also? So why she was unhappy, disturbed? Because to her, music had lewd associations. Lewd is very low associations. Actually, she always thought that music is not meant for, we can say, gentle folk. Okay, music is not meant for the people who are educated. Okay, maybe these are the things which are meant by very low category people. And what kind of low category? Actually, it was the monopoly of harlots and beggars. Harlots, we can say, in a simple way, you can say dancers in the palaces or in the courts. Okay, court dancers. So she thought that maybe music is meant by whom? Music is not that everybody should know the music. Who should know the music? Those who are to dance before the public, and they are to earn the money. Okay, so maybe today this is not like that. Today everybody loves to learn dance and music, and even parents feel proud that their children are so good in dancing and music. But in those days, actually, it was taken as very bad thing. Okay, only the dancers who are to show in front of others in order to earn money, they would be learning dance and music. So that's why she was disturbed. She thought that this is a monopoly, this is needed by, this is meant for harlots, dancers, and beggars only, because sometimes beggars come in the lanes and they sing songs loudly so that people get to know that beggars are begging. Okay, so this way she always thought that this is not for the gentle folk, for the educated families, and that's why she was disturbed and not meant for the gentle folk. She said nothing. Now, because it was parents, Kushwant Singh's parents, we can say, decision only to send him to this school, English school. So that's why maybe she didn't say anything, but she was disturbed. She said nothing, but her silence meant disapproval. But she did not say anything after that. So this also was a way to show that she's not that happy. She rarely talked to me after that. Talk to me means talk to me regarding studies. It's not that she stopped talking. No. But she stopped asking about the school and the studies after that, because maybe she thought that maybe there is no use saying anything. So I think this is enough. 2 phases we have done. First phase of his stay in the village, and second stage is stay in the city. I hope you have understood. So go through these paragraphs and maybe you will get to know it very well. Okay, thank you.